All right, now we're really cooking with fire, I think, if you can hear me. I got a real mic I found from a long time ago, but I think that should improve the sound. And yeah, no, I'm having fun, even though this is only the third video. Uh, when I told my 14-year-old son that I was going to start streaming some, he laughed uncontrollably. I'm wondering what's going through his head. But it is fun to just dump ideas and share what you're working on. And one thing that I am going to do, I am looking to apply for a job at this company here, AICrete, and my understanding is they're creating a operating system for cement companies. And so usually, there's one or two cement companies in a neighborhood, and they've got to manage all their aggregate, they got to manage all their chemicals to make concrete. Then they got to mix them together, make sure that they're delivering the required strength concrete to the buildings they're going to. And you know, I think these guys have landed on an interesting problem because you can't have the same aggregate. An aggregate is just the rock that you have mixed in with the concrete, the rock and the sand. And everywhere you go, there's different rock profiles and sand profiles because there's the geology is different in every area. And so these guys are coming up with software solutions that make that easy or easier for a company to run a profitable and efficient cement plant. And I love how niche it is. And yeah, I think there's, especially with like some computer vision and some AI tools, you can really take the guesswork out of delivering strong concrete, I think. Anyway, so what I've found in terms of the best use of my time when applying to jobs is just applying to cold job posts on LinkedIn is totally useless. There's hundreds of applicants, and my resume is a really sparse collection of operations, product, software. Usually at the intersection of construction or agriculture. Anyway, I think that recruiters have a hard time putting me in a bucket. But I think the most fun I've had, and I'd feel like my strongest position is for companies that are seed, Series A, or like just starting to look at Series B. People or companies with less than 50 people, and they have a lot of things that need to get built and done, and sort of operations is catching up with sales, and I can fill in, like, automate something with code as well as run operations team and help define the product, especially a product like this where it's not consumer totally consumer facing. We're dealing with a construction company, and we just need to make it easy to use. We don't need to make it pixel perfect. So anyway, that's why this company I think is a good fit for me. And my undergrad is civil engineering, so I understand concrete a little bit. So I think that the best way I can show that I would provide value is start to like research the product and try to pitch them what I think the product is and how I think some of the things that they may have not looked at already. So that's what I'm going to do in this probably longer video. I imagine this will take me 30, 40 minutes. All right, so I'm going to start a document call it? And the news, and the job that I'm looking for is, one of these. I've done some computer vision. I done, and I build web apps, so I know the full stack. So, here, these guys, and what attracted me also is they, they're working with Django, looks like, and I've worked with all of these, all of their tech stack. And I find some enjoyment making APIs. And the computer vision, and I'm not a hardcore research computer vision person, but they're using Python. And I've worked with OpenCV and processed a bunch of imagery at the last company I worked for, which was taking aerial imagery and doing some filters and science on it to say what plants need to be watered and when. So, and I suspect what they're doing is putting a camera in the workflow of a concrete plant. Concrete plant workflow image. Let's see if we can get a good image here. And I gotta update my settings here. Search engine. I love you, Brave, but Google is just a better search engine so far. Okay. All right. So, typically a cement plant will order their Portland cement, and there's only a couple places in the U.S. that make it, and then that will go into their silo, and then that will go into the mixer, and I'm not exactly sure what it gets mixed with, and then the aggregate hopper. Oh, okay, here we go. Stair, control house. Somewhere the cement and the aggregate get mixed together, and then it gets added with water. Trucks. Let's see what this one does. Okay, if we can find a better search. Images. All right. So right now I'm trying to remember and learn how cement plants there we go. Clinker storage, cement silo. Okay, this is actually how they make the cement, but I want actually just the concrete. Okay, we have aggregates, and then we have a mixer, and then we have cement silos. So we have potentially different types of cement mixed here. And then there's a bunch of admixtures, everything from, plastic bits to coloring to chemicals that make it dry faster or slower, that get added in to here. And I suspect that the vision engineer is going to be looking at the aggregates coming in, maybe a camera pointing down at a conveyor belt, or or looking at the mixture itself, and definitely looking at what the cement looks like coming out, and maybe even watching it slide down something so you get a sense of its viscosity. And okay, this is a good one. I'm gonna copy image just so I can look at it. And then just to see what concrete process plant software. Procon X. Okay, what are these things called again? eBatch Visual. There's a name for this type of software where you have a visual display of what is physically out in the world, and ChatGPT will know what this is. The name of the software. There's a general name for this software. PFDs. PCS, maybe. Maybe I'm thinking of PCS, Process Control Systems. So this looks like a big one. AutoCAD Plant 3D. So, AutoCAD. This looks like how to design a plant, but not necessarily operate a plant. Period. It seems like a natural product direction for AutoCAD to provide some sort of process control system or PCS software, because they already have the 3D diagrams. So what I'm doing here is just trying to understand the business. And eBatch. one of the things that AICrete does is offers mixed design. What do they? I've heard them describe it as mixed design as a service. Um, so yeah, so given a certain aggregate, you may have to add mixtures to get it to the certain strength you need. It's not super helpful, but we'll look for this eBatch by Mape. So eBatch by Mape. Screenshot. eBatch TC. Am I spelling it right? eBatch. Mmap EI. Okay, this looks more promising. Okay, here's a webinar.
That would be out of the warranty properties as well as its performance. Now, the high water ed rate for that.
Okay, let's see what else these guys have. These guys look like they fell into the software role by accident and not software first. So just gonna make a note of that. Bonus. Primarily an admixtures company, and looks like they are getting into the PCS software world. And so what I'm going to do with this is once I've researched it and formed some opinions, I will just send the document to the recruiter to show, and probably the CEO since it's a small company, and make my pitch of I've got half a brain at least, and I think I can, quickly become productive, and I'm interested in the space, but I've got to run and do something else. So I'm going to come back to this.